If you're an NBA fan like me, then you probably have a favorite team. And on that favorite team, you probably know of one player that you feel doesn't get enough recognition or enough credit. So today, I'm going to be going over the one player on every single NBA team that deserves a little bit more credit. So without further ado, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on the post notifications and comment the ones that you agree with or disagree with. And let's jump right into this. First, I'm going to start with the Boston Celtics, aka my favorite and the best team in the league. The Celtics are just one of those teams that has a really deep roster, and there's not a lot of people that I would say are underrated. But if there's one person I would name, I would say Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser averages about 7 points a game, 3 rebounds, and about an assist. But as far as 3-point percentage, he was one of the best in the league last year. And his whole career, he's averaged a 44.8 3-point percentage. And as an NBA champion, I think he's pretty underrated. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Brooklyn Nets. Dorian Finney-Smith stands out farly as the most underrated player on the Brooklyn Nets. Known for his defensive versatility and ability to guard multiple positions, Finney-Smith contributes significantly to the team's success, often without any recognition. Another player deserving mention is Nick Claxton, the Nets starting center. Claxton has emerged as a defensive anchor for the team, leading the league in field goal percentage at 70.5% and averaging 2.5 blocks per game in the previous season. So, you tell me who you'd rather give it to. But next up, we're going to be talking about one of the most legendary franchises ever, the New York Knicks. I would have to go, and it's a tough decision, with Josh Hart. Hart played in 81 games, starting in 42 of them, and averaged 9.4 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 4.1 assists per game. Additionally, his ability to adapt to various roles and deliver under pressure has made him an invaluable asset to the Knicks. But moving on to our next team, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, don't get me wrong, this team does suck, but there are some underrated people on that team, including Kelly Oubre Jr., who stands out as the most underrated in my opinion. Because he quietly averaged 15.4 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, while shooting 44.1% from the field, providing the 76ers with a much-needed spark off the bench, his ability to score in bunches, particularly when the team needed a boost, was invaluable and underrated for sure. But to finish the Atlantic Division, we've got the Toronto Raptors. Grady Dick, my guy, the one who always gets my parlay correct, is not only underrated in my eyes, but actually underrated skillfully. Grady Dick not only being able to control the floor and pop up a shot anytime, also went 36.5% from 3-point range in only his rookie year, and recently showcased his scoring prowesses with a 27-point presentation. Grady Dick has a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see what he's going to bring in the future, and that's why I have him on my underrated. But now let's go to one of the GOAT franchises, the Chicago Bulls. Now, if I were to say Zach LaVine was the most underrated, y'all would probably look at me crazy, right? Well, I will hope so, because the most underrated player on the Chicago Bulls roster is Kobe White, 100%. In April 2024, a poll conducted by The Athletic among NBA players highlighted White as one of the league's most underrated players. White's impact was evident in a game against the Milwaukee Bucks on October 25th, 2024, where he scored 35 points, got 6 rebounds, and dished out 5 assists, leading the Bulls to a 133-122 victory. But moving on, we're going to be talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, who in my eyes is one of the most underrated teams by far in the NBA. And this one was very hard to pick. I was going between Karis LeVert and Jarrett Allen. And the reason I took Jarrett Allen is because he stands out as the most underrated player defensively in the league. His consistent performance as a rim protector and his ability to anchor the defense has been crucial to the Cavaliers' success, and his impact was particularly evident during the 2024-2025 season. In addition to his defensive prowess, his offensive efficiency and ability to finish around the rim makes him a valuable asset, and his role in the Cavaliers lineup is irreplaceable. But moving on to one of the worst teams in the league right now, the Detroit Pistons. In the 2023-2024 NBA season, Jaden Ivey is the most underrated player. He averaged 15.4 points per game, 3.8 assists, and 3.4 rebounds per game, showcasing his scoring ability and versatility on the court. His performance has been pivotal for the Pistons, yet he remains as undiscussed. But talking about people who are undiscussed, I can't forget about the Indiana Pacers, whose underrated player has to be Andrew Nembhard. Nembhard has consistently delivered strong performances, including a career-high 31 points, 13 assists, and 8 rebounds in a game against the Golden State Warriors during his rookie season. Additionally, Denver Nuggets guard Jamal Murray expressed admiration for Nembhard, stating, "He's just very underrated." And shit, I can't argue with Jamal. But if we're going to talk about any underrated players, we have to talk about Brook Lopez from the Milwaukee Bucks. Brook Lopez is a unicorn, meaning that he's one of a kind. Well, technically, I guess he legit has a twin brother, so he's not one of a kind. But y'all get what I'm saying. Anyways, Lopez is a crucial piece to the Bucks' defensive scheme, and with his shot blocking, rim protection, and ability to stretch the floor as a center with three-point shooting, it's hard to leave him out of this list. But now, moving on from the Central Division, we're going into the Southeast Division. Starting with the Atlanta Hawks, the most underrated player is definitely DeAndre Hunter. While he's often overshadowed by bigger names like Trae Young, Hunter has been a consistent and versatile contributor on both ends of the floor. He's an excellent defender, capable of guarding multiple positions, and offers steady scoring and rebounding. His ability to space the floor as a reliable shooter as well, along with potential as a two-way player, makes him an invaluable asset. But he doesn't always get the attention he deserves, and lately has kind of been sinking in his statistics. But the most underrated current Charlotte Hornets player has to be RTBNB, aka Miles Bridges. Not only is Miles Bridges definitely the best NBA rapper of all time, but he's also known for his athleticism, defensive ability, and scoring potential. His skills as a forward allow him to contribute on both ends of the floor, but he hasn't always received the recognition he deserves due to the Hornets' overall lack of success, the attention like players of Melo Ball, and of course his, court case. But one of the most underappreciated Miami Heat players is definitely Max Strus. While he doesn't always grab the headlines, Strus has constantly been a reliable shooter and key contributor for the team. As a wing player, his ability to space the floor, make crucial three-pointers, and provide solid defense often goes underappreciated, especially when compared to the more prominent names on the roster like Bam Adebayo or Jimmy Butler. But since being drafted in 2021, Franz Wagner from the Orlando Magic has consistently shown flashes of being a versatile two-way player. He has a smooth scoring game, can play both forward positions and guard positions, and is a solid defender. Despite his consistent production and potential, he doesn't always get in the recognition he deserves when compared to some of the bigger names in the league, especially like Jalen Suggs on the same team as him. Now moving on to the Washington Wizards, this one was a little interesting. I honestly believe there's nobody on that team that is underrated, and if there's one word I could honestly describe this team, it would just be sloppy overall. So I couldn't choose a player. You guys have to let me know for this one in the comments what you think. But now moving on to the Denver Nuggets, and I had to go with Aaron Gordon. And the reason why is because his versatility allows him to defend multiple positions effectively, and his offensive skills provide the team with additional scoring options. He can shoot from the three all the way to poster your head. But moving on to the Minnesota Timberwolves, my pick, I got Naz Reid. Despite being a backup center, Naz Reid has consistently delivered strong performances off the bench, showcasing his scoring ability and defensive presence. His contributions have been pivotal in providing depth to the Timberwolves' front court, yet he often doesn't get any recognition up until pretty much now. But now, talking about one of the best teams in the league besides the Celtics, the Thunder. And for the Oklahoma City Thunder, I got Jalen Williams being the most underrated player. Despite impressive performances, Williams often doesn't receive widespread recognition. His all-around game and potential have been noticed by analysts. He's one of those players that brings unique skills that significantly impacts the Thunder's success, yet never really gets any attention. But talking about a team that gets zero recognition, we're going with the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, this entire team just kind of sucks in general. I honestly believe the most underrated person on the team is Robert Williams III, just because he used to be a Celtic, but I truly don't have a singular person that I could pick from this roster with actual statistic reasons. So for that, we're basically going to be skipping this one. But next up, we're talking about the Utah Jazz. Collin Sexton is often considered the most underrated player on the Utah Jazz roster. Despite a significant knee injury that sidelined him in the past, Sexton has demonstrated resilience and a strong scoring ability. His contributions are frequently overlooked, partly due to the Jazz's current rebuilding phase and his previous injury setbacks. Analysts said that Sexton's talent and potential are undervalued, suggesting he could play a pivotal role or for an even better team. But this video is getting a little long, so I'm gonna have to call it here. But comment down below what y'all think and what's your favorite team. And if I missed your favorite team, comment if you want a part 2 where I can get the rest of the teams down. And stream Guapo, shout out Guapo, and click the video that just popped up on the screen right there. It's gonna be a good one, trust me.